Hey everybody, Syntax77 here, and today we're going to do a little video on backpacking food. As you can see on the table here, got a nice little assortment. Just kind of gives a general look at the different items that I use, with the exception of perishable items that I don't have down here, but we can roll some footage in of that as we go. But I'm just going to kind of go through my thoughts and approach on different products that are out there. Now, speaking of which, there are a lot of products and approaches, and this is just mine, so feel free to take it with a grain of salt. For newer backpackers, you can just kind of get a look into the world of backpacking food choices and see what might work for you. If you're a little more experienced, then just another view into how a different backpacker might do things. Maybe you'll get some ideas. Maybe you'll leave some comments that will give me some better approach ideas. Now, off the top of my head, I would say when it comes to backpacking food, you have 4 different categories, is the way I usually look at it. You got number 1 would be like quote-unquote real food, just actually bringing out like steaks, sides, whatever, into the bush and cooking them up. Upside of that, tastes great and you're not really losing much. You're cooking the same food that you might cook at home. The downside is you got to haul along pots and pans, stuff like that, and the food's probably going to be a little more weighty. Now, after that, you got like your convenience foods, say canned foods, stuff like that. And again, upside, convenience, downside, bulky and weight. And even when you get done with it, you got the trash to deal with. Doesn't collapse down quite so much. Then third type of thing would be your dehydrated meals, very popular. And this will be starting to get into stuff that's tailored more specifically to backpackers, although there's some items out there as well that you might not think of that work just as well, same concept, and you can probably get a better price because they're not marketed specifically for backpacking. And then a variation of that, the fourth thing would be dehydrating your own meals. Now, this is a whole nother subject. I'm not going to get into that today. In fact, I don't actually do it yet myself. I'm sure it's a great hobby, but I just haven't gotten there. So we're just going to talk about mostly dehydrated meals and convenience meals. So let's get that out of the way first. Some of you might cringe when you see this if you're used to worrying about weight and stuff, but yeah, for those of you newer, you may not even think about all these fancy things. You might just picture somebody sitting around a fire with a can of chili, and yeah, that does work. But like I said, the downside is bulky and heavy. All the water and everything's already in there, obviously, so you're carrying around water weight that you could pick up on the trail to rehydrate with. But again, it also can be fun. We actually did this on one trip. We bought some Hormel chili out on that abandoned turnpike video, just because it kind of went with the theme. We were going out there because they filmed a movie about end of the world type scenario, and they were eating Hormel chili in the movie. So we said, we'll do the same. You know what? It wasn't that bad. Yeah, it was extra weight, but it was fun to get out there and just pop a can on the fire, heat it up. Afterwards, it wasn't too fun to have to haul the dirty can around. But other than that, it works, but more of a old school kind of approach there. But it is possible. In fact, we'll get back to that topic of calories per ounce. Some people do calories per gram, but I just kind of prefer calories per ounce because most serving sizes are in increments of ounces. A lot of times they're just already in 1 ounce. 28 grams is an ounce, so if you see 28 grams, that means an ounce. If you see 56, that's a 2 ounce serving. But anyway, this, for instance, we see has a total of 520 calories in it. And what's it weigh? Over 1 pound. 1 pound, 1 ounce. We'll call it 17 ounces. So speaking of ideal calories per ounces, before we do the math on that, ideally for me, I'm looking for 125 calories and up. 150 is ideal. Anything under 100 is pretty weak. I'm all about calories when I'm out on the trail. I'm not out there long enough to really destroy my diet. I'm not worried about some sort of vitamin deficiency occurring in like 3 days or anything like that. So I really just go a high calorie to weight ratio, a lot of carbs and stuff like that. I bring some protein for comfort. For the most part, I just want quick energy with carbs. So anything 150 calories per ounce and up is great. Below 125 is a little iffy. Below 100 is pretty pretty sad. So doing the math on that, 520 calories divided by those 17 ounces, and you're looking at 30 calories per ounce to carry this chili around. That is incredibly weak in terms of calories per ounce. The ever classic Spam, going to get you that protein fix, certainly going to get plenty of that salt, and it's tasty. I've never actually brought this on the trail, but there's some guys that really like this as a fun food. You would have to fry this up on something, at least I would want to. Fry it up, maybe at least on a piece of tinfoil on a fire, or a small pan that you bring with you. Now, the calories per ounce on this one isn't going to be amazing either. It is 2 ounce serving, 180 calories. So you're looking at 90 calories per ounce, and then you have this can that you don't know what to do with afterwards. Whereas something like trail mix, a serving size, 1 ounce, like I said, usually that's convenient. It's already in ounces for you. 1 ounce, 150 calories. Some of the best stuff you're going to find in terms of calories per ounce. Just when you're buying your trail mix, take a look. If you're really concerned with it, check, because there will be some variation. A lot of the, well, obviously, a lot of healthier stuff that has dried fruit instead of M&Ms and stuff is going to be lower, maybe 130, let's say, calories per ounce, 120. But 150 is usually what you're going to find on trail mix. So that stuff is awesome. I put this into little Ziploc bags, and I'm good to go. I pre-portion out like maybe, you know, quarter cup in a bag or something like that, so I can just kind of keep track of what I'm eating. Now, above trail mix, there's actually something I found. These True North Almond, Pecan, Cashew clusters. I found these on sale and loaded up on them, and I really like them. They're 170 calories per 1 ounce serving. That's pretty amazing. You don't get much better than that. 170 per ounce, and that's because it has almonds in it. Because honestly, almonds in general are just amazing. They give you good energy. Like I said, they're also 170 calories per ounce. So good stuff. Almonds are good. Cashews are good. High calorie stuff. Speaking of, you're really not going to get much more calories than that. If you want to talk about the granddaddy of calories per ounce, it's going to be olive oil. Olive oil is running, let me double check here. Yeah, 1 tablespoon is 120 calories. 1 tablespoon is half an ounce. So 1 ounce is 240 calories. Wow. 240 calories per ounce. That's pretty amazing. Now, of course, you're not just going to snack on this. I don't often do this because my trips are shorter, but what guys will do with this is put it in a little plastic squeeze bottle, and you can add it to your meals as you feel necessary to jack up the calorie rating. It's almost like having emergency calories on hand. For my shorter trips, I don't really need to worry about that, but if you're doing a longer trip, you just keep some of this in your backpack, and if you feel like you're just, you know, way more hungry than you should be, squeeze some of this into your meal that night, and you'll get a nice calorie boost without carrying around a lot of extra weight. So that's very nice and convenient. So I guess we kind of switched into snacks, it seems. So let's just keep going and talking on snacks. There's a lot of fancy stuff out there like this that I picked up. I usually don't buy these. I actually picked them up just as an example for the video, and trust me, I won't mind eating them. But you know, stuff like this you can get for like $1.50 a piece or something like that at your sporting goods store. They're good. They're tasty. They're usually designed to be digested really quickly, so you get that energy boost. So that's cool. But also, I mean, don't underestimate just going and seeing whatever's on sale, picking up some granola bars, you know, just simple stuff like that. Again, this is actually something that's a little more expensive, but I've grown to like them, but they are like $2. It's kind of insane. This is 200 calories in these little energy blocks here, and those are pretty good in my experience. But honestly, you can go get some cheap gummies, and you can get your sugar craving through that. But I will admit that these ones, they almost melt in your mouth, so they hit the bloodstream pretty quick. But you know, you could buy probably a whole box of these things for the same price. Moving along on the snack front, and speaking of candy, Snickers. This is probably one of the best calories per ounce as well. Let's double check. 250 calories in this bar here, and it weighs 1 3/4 ounce. So you're looking at 142 calories per ounce. Not too bad. The real impressive thing about these is calories per dollar. This is 99 cents and you're getting 250 calories. Not too shabby. So this is a real favorite amongst hikers, and I can't say that I shy away from it myself because it also tastes amazing when you're out there and you're hungry. So Snickers bars are awesome to have on the trail for price, weight ratio, everything. You can't go wrong with Snickers. All right, so that kind of covers snacks for the most part, I believe. Let's touch real quick on the concept of bringing out like quote unquote real food. I don't usually do this, although we did in one video. Now, if the weather's cold, you could do what Mike and I did in our Pennsylvania November trip. He actually surprised me, and he brought out an entire turkey loin, or no, turkey breast, and some baked potatoes. Now, remember I was saying the downside can be you have to bring out pots and pans and stuff, but that's not really true because he just brought out some tin foil, wrapped that sucker up, and threw it right on the fire. Same with the baked potatoes, and it was amazing. So that was a real energy and morale booster. It was a fun time. It was good memories. Totally worth the wait. So can't knock the real food if you're willing to do it. Now, of course, temperature is an issue. That was a colder weather trip, so it worked. But let's speak real quick about something. I do occasionally bring out cheese sticks even when the weather's not cold. Now, I can't officially recommend you do that because the package says always keep refrigerated, but I'm going to tell you what I do, and you can do what you want at your own risk, so don't come complaining to me if you get a tummy ache there, buddy. But prepackaged cheese, in my experience, it's got enough preservatives and vacuum sealedness to it that I've had these last a few days and it's fine. You will notice that as the days go on, the oil will start to separate out of them a little bit, but I've had these on a couple day trips, no problem. On an overnighter, absolutely not a problem at all. Just, you know, keep them deeper in my pack and they stay a little more insulated. These are like an ounce stick. It's 80 calories. So again, it's in that weak range as far as my opinion on calories per ounce. But this is a good morale boost. It's just nice to have some real cheese to kind of pick you up when you're just eating a bunch of carbs and stuff. So I do like to bring some cheese with me. And I don't have any here to show you, but I actually do a lot of times like to bring like a summer sausage or something prepackaged, like a pepperoni type product. It's a good way to get some fat and protein when you're on the trail. It's a good pick-me-up as well. We've even done for dinner one time. I believe it was the same trip that Mike brought the turkey loin. We brought a couple different types of cheeses and different summer sausage and pepperoni, and we just had a whole like meat and cheese kind of platter for dinner. Actually right on the trail when we were night hiking. So that was a fun little dinner time trail adventure there. All right. I see these laying here, so let's talk about that. Drink mixes. It seems funny to me now to even say it with just because of my conditioning of myself, but I mean it's not uncommon. You see people will bring out cans of like soda and stuff on the trail. I mean, whatever you want to do. Soda is amazing tasting after a hike, but you will not enjoy carrying around like a six-pack for a few days probably. So sport drink mixes are good, and then if you're after caffeine, I just go with instant coffee. This is Nescafe that I happen to have laying around. Sometimes I use this. A lot of people do Starbucks for a little bit more. It's really tasty, and I actually shake this up with cold water to do iced coffee as well, and then in the morning it's my hot coffee. So that's what I do for coffee. I don't carry around a whole coffee brewing rig and everything, and I'm someone who loves coffee, but I just kind of make the sacrifice for weight with that. And let's talk about finally dehydrated meals. There's a variety of them out there. I have a couple brands here. I got Mountain House, there's Backpacker's Pantry, there's also, who does it? Coleman makes them. You'll probably see those at Walmart. I don't happen to have them here. I haven't personally tried them, but I see guys using those. A lot of times they're going to come in a 2-serving pack. And a lot of guys will eat the 2-serving pack themselves. And some people will split them. It's really up to you. I'm usually solo hiking, and I'm a smaller guy, and I like a little variety. So I usually shy away from these because they, like this one in particular, is 860 calories if you eat the whole package. That's a little bit more than I need. If I was eating just this, maybe, but I like to have a little variety. I might want to have a candy bar for dessert, or a side dish of some ramen noodles or something, which is another good one. So usually I'll shy away from this if I'm alone, and I'll get these Mountain House Pro Packs that you may have seen in my videos by now, and I'm always talking about them, but they're one serving, so they only ring in around 450 calories to 500 at the most, and that's perfect for me, so I can, you know, eat this and then something else a little different. That works out well for me. The way these work, for those of you newer, they're self-contained. You just rip the top right off of there and you add boiling water, and you can eat right out of the bag, especially if you're by yourself. Nice and convenient. I just bring this, a little spork, and like I said, I eat right out of the bag. That's my preference. Now, if you're going with somebody else, you can do the routine where you eat half of it and then pass it on to your friend or loved one. A lot of times, if there's two of you, then you're just going to have to do the extra weight and bring a bowl. This is a collapsible bowl, okay? And then even lighter than this, if you don't need the collapsibility, just go to Taco Bell or something like that and buy one of their salads, those bowls that they give you. Just keep it. It's super light and it does the job. It's way lighter than this thing if you do want to carry bowls. But like I said, me, I pretty much just eat right out of the bag with a spoon, so I don't have to carry the weight. I heat my water in a tin can. Very simple. This thing's ultra lightweight. I just get some water just up to boiling in that, and then dump the water into the pouch. Reseal it, let it sit. Usually, I don't know what the directions say, but usually let it sit 15 minutes, and it comes out pretty good. Now, that's after hiking all day, so you probably have a biased opinion, but honestly, I've had some of these that I've really enjoyed. Not just this brand, but in general. I know you might hear some stories about, horror stories about the dehydrated food not being good and whatnot. I don't know. In my personal opinion, I think it's just fine. Yeah, you'll hear people complain about the salt content. That is true. There's high salt in here because they're trying to preserve this stuff. But when you're on a trail sweating, some extra salt at the end of the day, not really a terrible thing to replace that salt. And honestly, the same people complaining about that probably go out at least a couple times a month to some restaurant and do far worse things to their body. So I don't really think that they need to be worrying about some extra salt on that one hiking trip they take. But if you're somebody who's worried about salt and sodium, yeah, watch out for that. If not, hey, go with the flow. That's what I say. Matter of fact, if you look at the bottom here, you can kind of get a view because this one's clear. See, it's just all dehydrated sauce, rice, and whatnot. This one is rice and chicken. For you vegans out there, they have a Louisiana red beans and rice. This is just an example. There's other ones, but they tag it as vegan right on there. This attracted me because it's only 600 calories, which again is a little more in my calorie range for a dinner. There's no meat in it, obviously, but you know, I could have a little beef jerky on the side and some red beans and rice. Hell, I might even mix the beef jerky right into this. So you got options. So there's a lot of flavors out there. You just go and start trying them and checking them out. You can go on the internet and find even more variety of flavors as well. Just want to point this out. While most of them are real simple, just kind of water in the bag, reseal it, there are some ones to look out for, like this Biscuit and Gravy one. We never used this because we picked it up and then realized that, you know, it's a little more involved. This, you actually need some pots, which I don't carry, cooking pots, but, you know, for example, for this biscuits and gravy, you get your water boiling, you put your gravy mix in, then you get your gravy going, and then you mix water with this in the package to get your biscuit dough, and then you start ladling scoops of it into the boiling gravy, which actually technically is a dumpling, isn't it? But anyway, my point is, some of them are a little more involved, so if you're not worried about bringing out some extra cooking vessels, then you can make some fun stuff like that. They have breakfast items. They have like blueberry oatmeal and stuff like that. Speaking of real oatmeal, that is awesome. Just bring some instant oatmeal with you, pop it in a bowl, add your water, put a little foil lid over top, let it sit, and you're eating oatmeal. And you don't have to go to the hiking store and get anything special for that. It's very simple. It's just grab some oatmeal out of the cupboard. So that's a good breakfast item. Jerky, as I mentioned, I do enjoy that. More for salt replacement and psychological reasons, just a good pick-me-up. And your body will start to crave protein if you're used to eating it. So this will get you that protein fix. Calories per ounce, pretty weak, 70 calories for 1 ounce. So you're not really packing this to survive energy-wise. At least not immediate energy. The protein's going to take a little longer to kick in, but it's worth it. I always bring jerky. It's a good pick-me-up. Ramen noodles, I kind of touched on that briefly before, but these pack a good calories per ounce. I think they do, at least. Let's see. Even if they don't, I'm still bringing them because I think they're delicious. But 190 calories, there's 2 calories per container, so you're looking at 380 calories, and this weighs 3 ounces for the package, and you can throw some jerky into it or whatever you want and just let it steep with it. It's really good. I just kind of put this in my pot with the cold water and just let the whole thing come up to a boil, shut it off, cover it up, and let it sit for like, I don't know, 5 minutes or something. Good stuff. There's also other cold options like, this is the first time I've gotten this, but I'm certainly been aware of it. For example, this is chicken salad, and this you just add cold water to it and then reseal it, let it sit. So I picked this up to give it a shot. I usually don't stop when I'm hiking for lunch. I just don't feel like breaking all my stuff out. That's just me. Most people are not crazy, so they like to enjoy themselves. But I usually keep moving. But I'm thinking on my next trip, I might do this. Just get some cold water out of a stream, filter it up, throw it in the container, and then just let it rehydrate as I hike some more. And then you can just carry some fajitas with you. Keep these in your pack. Try to shy away from the ones that require refrigeration. Get the ones that come right off of the shelf. Carry some of these and you can make some chicken salad wraps. So that's not bad. Or if you want to do a sandwich, I prefer the sandwich thins. They're a little more resilient. They don't get beat up as much. So you could make a little chicken salad sandwich for you and your friends out in the woods. Or this I have done, tuna salad. This little packet of already made tuna salad. It's good. You don't even want to know the calories per ounce. It's 100 calories for a 3-ounce container. So you're looking at 33 calories per ounce. It's almost as bad of a ratio as our chili. But it's a good morale booster. I had this one time on a cold trip where this was super cold in my pack. I brought some sandwich thins with me, and man, I don't even like tuna salad, to be honest, and that was an awesome meal. I remember it to this day because I was so hungry, and it was like a real sandwich in the middle of nowhere. So that's a pretty cool option there. I just noticed my Pop-Tarts. I didn't touch on them, but those are a good, pretty calorie dense. I think, let's see. They're 200 calories per tart, so they're tricky on you. An actual package has 2 in there, so an actual package is 400 calories. These things have a lot of calories in them. And they weigh, let's see how worth it they really are. 3.5 ounces, what did I say, 400? So 400 divided by 3.5. Yeah, that's not bad. 114 calories per ounce. Again, it's below my 125, but at least it's not under 100. That's not bad. You know, honestly, I'll usually start with these on day 1 in the car, and because I sleep in the car at the trailhead the night before. So I'll do these on day 1 because 400 calories for breakfast, at least for me, is actually, it's a little heavier, but at the beginning, first day of a hike, you get a nice little 400 calories of Pop-Tarts in you, and you hit that trail. It's pretty good stuff. And then last but not least, when it comes to dehydrated meals, don't forget about the stuff that's already in your pantry. I literally grab this stuff right out of my pantry, and I forget about it sometimes too, but mashed potatoes, pasta sides, and stuffing, that's stuffing in there. This is all stuff that you can make on the trail. It's a dehydrated meal. You want to try to avoid the stuff that requires milk. You know, some are going to require milk, some don't. This, for instance, I think I bought it because of this, and the fact that it was on sale for $1. Doesn't require milk, just water. So you could bring this and already put it into a little plastic Ziploc bag, you know, like a freezer bag, and you just add your hot water to it, reseal it, let it hydrate, and you got mashed potatoes or stuffing or whatever. Speaking of sandwich bags, I put everything into another sandwich bag for the most part. Because, like, let's see, like this trail mix, that's a big bulky container. It's got some weight to it, and I'd rather not be hauling that trash around either once I get done with it. So I just package pretty much anything that comes in like a bulkier bag like this into Ziplocs instead, because they're lighter and I can kind of split it up into different days. You do want to think about that, like trail mix, your hands aren't the cleanest out there. You're reaching in and out of these things a lot. So rather than having one big bag of trail mix, I try to split it up into smaller ones so that I'm not you know, creating a breeding ground. And we'll wrap up with just one final thing, and that's planning. Especially if you're newer, I would say definitely do this just as a checklist to really make you sit down and think about things. I'm a bit of a nerd, so I do this just about every time. But here's a quick example. I don't even know if this one was finished, but it's what I found in the notebook. Make a little matrix of each day. This was a quick 2-day trip, so I got day 1, day 2, and then breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks. And just write everything down. You see I have X's for the days I did, or the times I didn't need stuff. Like I didn't need breakfast on day 1 because I ate my Pop-Tart in the car, and didn't need dinner on day 2. So I just, well, obviously I ate a burger on the way home, so I didn't have to pack that. But as you go, just say, okay, I'm gonna have ramen for lunch. That's 380 calories. I'm gonna have this for dinner. And you can kind of see, and then that'll kind of flag to you, oh wow, I have way less calories than I thought I did. I better jack that up. Or vice versa, you might be going, oh wow, I don't need 37 snacks a day because that comes up to, you know, 7,000 calories. I don't need that. By the way, a quick note on that. You're gonna have to find your personal preference for food. I usually do shorter trips, and I know you'll hear out there you can burn, you know, 3,000 to 5,000, even more, 6,000 calories a day hiking. But if you're not on a longer, at least for me, if I'm not on a longer trip, if I'm only out there for 2 or 3 days, I'm not going to start feeling that until later. So it's not the end of the world. I don't really bring a whole lot more calories than I normally would. I bring more than I would. I want energy, but I don't bring necessarily 6,000 calories a day because I'm only out there a couple days. And by day 2 or day 3 at the latest, I'm back in the car going to get a cheeseburger. So it's not the end of the world. If you're out there for like a week or more, then you're going to be going calorie negative for a lot longer. And you do want to look out for bringing that extra calories, bringing that olive oil. You know, play it safe. Have the energy available to you. You don't want to be stuck out there without food. And doing a little matrix like this will help you keep tabs on that. And then eventually you'll start to learn and eyeball what you need. And you might not have to do this, or you might get in the habit of doing it each time. But that's just my final tip there for you on food. So there you have it. There's my backpacking food system. Pretty much covers all the bases. Again, this is just my take on it. Everybody's a little different, but you know, at least this will get things started for you if you're new to it, or if you're not, then you know, maybe it'll make you think about some certain things that you haven't before. Feel free to post in that comment section below, get some conversation going, and until next time, I'm Syntax77. Have fun out there.